The Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan expanded rapidly in the 13th century. It stretched from East Asia to Eastern Europe. This vast empire connected many different cultures and people. It also established extensive trade routes. These routes, like the Silk Road, became vital for commerce. Merchants transported valuable goods across long distances. Silk, spices, and porcelain moved west from Asia. Textiles, timber, and glass traveled east from Europe. This bustling trade had unintended consequences. Unknowingly, traders carried something deadly along with their wares: the plague. Fleas living on rodents carried the Yersinia pestis bacteria. These rodents often infested ships and caravans. As goods traveled along the Mongol trade routes, so did the plague-carrying fleas. The Mongols, known for their equestrian skills, facilitated rapid transit across their vast empire. They established a postal system with way stations for messengers and horses. This system, designed for communication, inadvertently helped spread the plague. Infected fleas could travel quickly with the messengers and goods. The Mongol Empire, while fostering trade and interconnection, unwittingly set the stage for a pandemic. The plague, transported by fleas on rodents, traveled along the very routes meant to connect civilizations. This interconnectedness, intended for prosperity, would soon bring devastation. In the mid-14th century, the Black Death reached Europe. It first appeared in port cities along the Mediterranean. Trading ships unknowingly carrying infected rats and fleas brought the plague from the east. The disease spread rapidly through urban centers. Overcrowded and unsanitary conditions in cities helped the plague spread. From the Mediterranean, the Black Death swept across Europe. It moved relentlessly north and west. Within a few years, it reached the British Isles. The plague affected all levels of society. No one was immune to its devastation. The Black Death was terrifying. People developed painful swellings, fever, and vomiting. Death often came within days. Medieval medicine had no effective treatment for the plague. People turned to prayer and superstition. They desperately sought ways to stop the disease. Doctors wore beak-like masks filled with herbs. They believed this would protect them from the bad air they thought caused the plague. The arrival of the Black Death in Europe marked a turning point in history. The speed and ferocity of the plague shocked the continent. It exposed the vulnerabilities of medieval society and led to profound changes. The Black Death had a devastating impact on Europe. It killed an estimated 25 million people. This represented roughly 1/3 of the continent's population. The scale of death was unimaginable at the time. Entire villages were wiped out. Cities turned into ghost towns. The massive loss of life had severe social and economic consequences. Agriculture suffered tremendously. With so many peasants dead, there were not enough people to tend the fields. Crops rotted in the ground. Food shortages and famine followed. The plague disrupted trade. The movement of goods slowed significantly. Fear and uncertainty gripped the land. The church, a central pillar of medieval society, was also shaken. People questioned their faith as the plague ravaged communities. Priests, who often administered last rites, died in large numbers. The Black Death led to a crisis of faith for some. Others became more devout, seeking solace in religion. The Black Death left an indelible mark on Europe. The massive loss of life, economic disruption, and social upheaval transformed the continent. The plague's effects were felt for generations. It challenged existing social structures, religious beliefs, and economic systems. The Black Death had a profound impact on Europe. It led to the decline of feudalism. This system began to weaken. Feudalism relied on a large peasant population. The plague disrupted this system. The massive death toll led to a labor shortage. Peasants gained more bargaining power. They demanded higher wages and better conditions. Some left their feudal obligations. This undermined feudal lords' power. The Black Death also spurred urban growth. Many peasants sought opportunities in cities. Cities offered higher wages and freedom. This migration marked a significant shift. The Black Death brought unexpected changes. It weakened the feudal hierarchy. Peasants gained more leverage. The rise of cities and decline of feudalism set the stage for new structures.